2020 was probably the epiphany of #fail. The truth of the matter is, you will never understand how amazing success feels if you don't go through the valleys that failure puts you in. Failure. It's a reality we all face. It comes with every success story ever told. There is no escaping it. To obtain success, you must fail.
What's up, digital world? You're listening to the I Digress audio experience with Troy Sandidge. Social media, marketing, storytelling, business, culture, and more. Coming to you in 3, 2, 1.
I think about all the moments, all the times that I failed. And there are levels of failure. With failure comes the responsibility to address mistakes, address things that are in your control and things that are not in your control. Even if it wasn't necessarily your fault, there's always some room for improvement. There's always room for growth. I always say I'm a day one expert. Today, I'm on top of my game. I am at the apex, the center, the epiphany of my growth. I'm going to give it my all. But tomorrow, I'm going to reset because I know I didn't achieve everything that I wanted to do. And there's going to be plenty of room for improvement. If one idea doesn't work, there are millions more. If one door closes, there are millions more. The only thing that will stop you from eventually achieving the success that you want is if you stop. Keep moving, keep building, keep progressing, never stop trying. Adjust to setbacks and pivot accordingly. I honestly believe that if we just remain positive and work through challenges, most things will work out if it is meant for you. A part of the reason that we have to deal with failure and look at it through a certain lens is that sometimes the result of failure is literally because of our ignorance or because of our own doing, because we're pushing ourselves against a wall that is not meant to be broken, because that is not the path we were meant to be on in the first place. And it took this moment, hitting it multiple times in hopes that maybe we'll wake up to see the bigger picture that, hey, if you move 3 steps to the right, there's a door. You open it and you went through. But we're just trying to go through this wall when we can just go through a door. And if the door is meant for us to open, we'll have the key or someone is going to open the door on the other side. I think about every moment I had to submit an application for a job, put all this effort in rewriting my stuff, writing a cover letter, going through a series of interviews, studying the company, studying the people who I will be interviewing, pulling out problems, finding solutions, creating marketing strategies, showing my skill set, showing my effort, defending my age, defending my race, defending different biases that are coming up across the conversation line, going through this series of interviews, getting to the final stage, thinking that there might be a possibility I'm going to get this job, putting in all this effort, celebrating internally, getting ready for the win, and then it doesn't happen. What do? You see, this has been my mindset for the past 6 months. Focus less on the distance and always keep your eyes focused on the destination. My destination is to get a job, but that job is a key to unlock the door to abundance. With abundance, that means all my bills are paid. That means all of my priorities that requires payment for me to live would be met. That takes stress and pressure off of me to focus on the next goal, the next vision that I have. In this moment, I need to prioritize certain things to take care of my family and myself, to make sure there's a roof overhead, there's food in the refrigerator. We have everything that we need from an asset standpoint to just continue on forward. And so if you lose your job, if you don't acquire that job through series of interviews, well, okay, that just means the distance to the destination has been extended, but the destination hasn't changed. I still need to reach this destination. I'm just rerouting. I'm just stuck in traffic. That may mean I need to stay on this highway and endure this traffic. That may mean I need to get off this highway and take a side street. That may mean I need to get off this highway, take a side street or a series of side streets that are way out of my way to get on another highway on the other side of town that can catapult me faster to where my destination is. Part of the issue that we fail is because we think linear. that this is the only path to my success. And I'll go even a step further. We have our own conception of what success is. And the crazy thing is, sometimes we don't know what success is until we get there. Let's define success. Let's define failure. I live to live, and work should be a part of my life that enables me, that empowers me, that gives me the key to unlock the doors to the very things that I want to achieve or obtain or acquire within my life. And I think right now there is a mega disruption where corporations and agencies and companies and brands and small businesses and entrepreneurships, everyone is realizing we need to reset our priorities. We may have been achieving greatness over here, but I'm failing over there. But if I align it a little bit differently, I can achieve both. You with me? Are you hearing me? You see, we can have this perception that if we get the bag, if we secure the bag, if we get 6 figures, 7 figures, that means successful. If we have 10,000 followers on Instagram to get the swipe up feature, that means successful. If we get the blue check mark on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook, that means successful. If I am deemed a LinkedIn influencer, I'm successful. Those are actual benchmarks, maybe milestones, maybe moments, but those in itself do not define success. You can have tens of thousands, if not millions of dollars in the bank. We've seen it in the news. And the very ones who have this money will tell you, I'm not happy. I'm not satisfied. What? What are you talking about? You do not need to have anything. You do not need to work paycheck to paycheck. You don't need to check your bank account 10 times a day to make sure that something didn't come out when it shouldn't have because you needed more cash flow. What do you mean you're not happy? You see, money unlocks the door to abundance, and living in abundance eliminates a lot of issues. Money does not guarantee success. Just like a ton of Facebook likes, just like a ton of comments, just like a ton of blue check marks. Just because everyone could be screaming and praising your name through the very vehicle of a device that you're listening to this episode of my podcast right now does not equate to happiness. We need to change and shift from success being this vanity metric thing to being a value-rich continuation of moments of happiness. That's where a lot of people fail because they're chasing the wrong type of success. They don't know what's really in their heart to define as success. There are many levels and layers of failure, but can we learn from that? There is no separation between the goal of success that you want and the failure that you fear. The reality is you have to chase after that success despite the fear that you feel every single day, the doubt, the insecurity, the lack of validation, the lack of support, the lack of funds, the lack of commitment, the lack of discipline, the lack of wealth of knowledge or of understanding or quantitative tools or access or network or community. The whole thing that life is not fair. Life is full of biases and challenges and obstacles. You only get one life. So are we going to sit and complain all day long about how hard the road is? Or are we going to figure out a way to still get there? Is it fair? No. Should it be better? Yes. Are we making progress? Somewhat. Is it happening as fast? Not even close. But it's so much better than it was before. But we still have a long way to go. But in the midst of all of that, you still have one life to live. And either we're going to sit here and just wander in what we're trying to do and just think it's over, I give up, or you figure out a way anyway. I'm recording this episode on my birthday. I am officially turning the page. It is now chapter 29. And if you know my story from birth, if you know my story from age 7, if you know my story from 2015 to 2017, if you know my story from 2017 all the way through to this point, you're all caught up. I've probably went through so much that someone at age 29 probably shouldn't have gone through. But yet, in the same breath, there are people who have even reached the age of 29. There are people that at the age of 29 have endured 10 times, 20 times, 40 times more obstacles and challenges with less and are more successful than me at this age. So though I look at my life, look at the 29 years I've been blessed with, despite the obstacles and challenges and adversities that I've had to endure to get to this very point, to speak through this mic, to give you some type of knowledge for this episode in this moment, I have to be thankful and reflect on, yes, I had to deal with failures. Yes, I deal with obstacles, but yet I still kept my eye on the destination. And though I endured an immense amount of failure, I also achieved a great amount of success that I should be proud of. And so should you, no matter your age, no matter your location. Yes, there are going to be valleys and mountains constantly. Your valley is somebody's mountain, and your mountain is somebody's valley. We're all exchanging places, just trying to work our way toward that destination. I think back, and if I didn't keep going, in many instances, I would not even have had the opportunity. Now, I'm not saying not even the success, the opportunity to even achieve the success. And people say, Troy, you built different. You know, you look at the world different. You just got this drive and aura about yourself that people are attracted to, that you just want to go and you're driven. That may be true. I have a various types of personality traits, and my molecular DNA may be set up differently and wired me differently to see things differently, to achieve things in a different way. That still doesn't mean that I don't have insecurities or doubt or fear. That still doesn't mean that on any given day I wake up and I'm like, is today the day that I'm going to achieve, or is today the day that I'm going to fail? And what I do over the next 23 hours and 59 minutes matters. What are you going to do with your time? What's your priorities? You see, it really comes down to a mindset shift. When you look at your priorities, when you look at what matters most to you, you build, you create this life around that. 2020 was probably the epiphany of #fail. 2020, we've experienced so much loss, so much pain, so much agony, so much change. So many harsh realities and truth came up to the surface. So many things were put on blast. And yet, through failure, we're getting clarity around what matters most to us. We're seeing the receipts of how we've been spending our time. We're looking at what matters most to us. We're seeing what matters least to us. We're awakening to who was there through the hardest times and who wasn't. And when that all comes together, we can figure out what's next. I'm not the smartest person. I'm not the strongest person. I'm not the wisest person. I'm just a human who thought one day I need to record. Press record, speak my truth, edit it down to under 30 minutes and call it a day. I'm blessed to have you as a listener. I'm blessed to have you supporting this effort that I'm putting in. And I'll be honest with you, I didn't feel like doing this. Not only because today of me recording this is my birthday, but because sometimes we have an idea, but we don't have the capacity or the engine power to keep it going. I like the idea of having a podcast. At the same time, I want to make sure that I can maintain the high level of value and energy, because that's what you as a listener deserves, and that's what I want to output out. But there are days and weeks and months where I just don't feel like showing up, pressing record, saying my truth, editing it down, or maybe I can't even tell you how many episodes I have recorded that will never be heard because of an audio issue, or some other thing didn't sound like me, didn't sound right, so I can't distribute it. So what do? I wait, I give myself some time, but I come back, I show up, I press record again, despite me not feeling like it, despite me thinking every time I open my mouth, it doesn't make sense to anybody but me, and maybe even not me, but I'm here to express my truth in this format to people so I can serve them in hopes that it may spark something to empower them to do more. And if that happens, then all of it was worth it. You have to have that same level of conviction, that same level of mindset, that same level of passion when things don't go your way, when you don't feel like it. You still have to show up. Right now, when we think of 2020, when we think of the year that we're in now in 2021, I don't want to date the episodes, but I think this is very important. This whole span of time that we're in is a pill that we don't want to swallow, but we have to. I'm going to every single day and focus on each moment I am blessed to receive. I will do what it takes to carry on building my community, one follower at a time, carry on building my business, one customer at a time, carry on chasing the life that I want, one day at a time, carry on making an impact, one moment at a time. People often ask me how I'm so resilient. I tell them, since I can't return the cards dealt to me, I crumble my challenges to their tiniest issues and focus on tackling those issues bit by bit. I did a talk in 2019 where I spoke to students at Northwestern Medicine for the All of Us research program on the art of not being defeated. And during that, I mentioned the 4 R's to becoming a rejection rock star. Be resilient, be resourceful, be radiant, and be real. Be resilient. You can't be resilient without facing difficulties. Be resourceful. You can't be resourceful until things fail. Be radiant. You can't show your radiance until you are thrown into darkness. Be real. You can't be real without accepting your reality and living your truth. It's hard out there. We will fail more times than we will ever succeed. People marvel at Michael Jordan's ability to make shots under pressure. We called him clutch. He missed more shots than he made. The same thing with the late, great, my favorite NBA player of all time, Kobe Bryant. We marvel at individuals who achieve great things. The very people that you praise and worship in various industries, in whatever industry or workforce field that you are in, or the person that you see is living the life that you want to live. They have all the success and the greatness and the glory and all these different things that you phantom you would want. But what you don't see behind the veil, what you don't see at the bottom of the iceberg, at the bottom of the skyscraper, is all the moments and times and efforts that were spent in agony and pain and anguish, dealing with failure, getting back up, dealing with failure, getting back up. If you really knew what's required to becoming successful, you probably wouldn't want to do it. But the crazy thing is about us as being human beings, we have this innate ability to just adapt. And if you've heard me say this, you already know where I'm going with this. Always do all possible things. That's all you need to apply when it comes to failure. In the moment of failure, do what you can. Keep making progress. Keep momentum going. It doesn't matter about the distance. What matters is the destination. You can get your PhD, your BA, your high school diploma at age 65 if you have to. Doesn't matter how long it took you. Did you want it? Yes. Did you achieve it? Yes. Your journey is different than someone else's journey. Your timeline is different than someone else's timeline. The card that you're dealt is different than someone else's card that they're dealt. And so what do we do in this moment? We complain about it? Sure. You have my permission to complain about it. When you're done, get over it, acknowledge it, accept it, and keep moving forward. The destination is more important than the distance. The goal is more important than the anguish, the pain, the suffering, the fear that you're feeling that is slowing you down and holding you back from getting to where you want to get to faster. How does this matter in business? This is the very definition of the mindset that you need to have going into business, because it will not be successful from the jump and it won't even maintain success. You have to always work in a state and flow of, hey, today could be a failure, today could be successful. But as long as at the end of the day, the receipts add up to equal success. I remember the first brain surgery that I had to endure. And I'll never forget this moment. Me and my then fiance, now wife, obviously, we're in the waiting room. It's cold because, you got a sheet and some cover. And I never got to watch the Lego movie, so I'm watching the Lego movie. And this line stands out to me. You are the most talented, most interesting, most extraordinary person in the universe. And you are capable of amazing things because you are special. And so am I. And so is everyone. The prophecy is made up. But it's also true. It's about all of us right now. It's about you, and you still can change everything. You are the most talented, most interesting, most extraordinary person in the universe, in your world. Own it, live it, be it. Be magnificent, be powerful, be extraordinary, be yourself. Everything that is in you meant to achieve what you're meant to achieve in this world will unlock itself, will reveal itself in due time. And many times the gems that we're meant to show will not come forth until we are faced with fire to purge all the issues, all of the impurities, to showcase how beautiful you are and how radiant you shine. Always do all possible things. Adapt, no matter your adversity. Focus on possible solutions and always focus on just making forward progress. If plan A doesn't work, the alphabet has 25 more letters, 204 if you live in Japan. When we deal with failure, the other side of failure is success. If I had stopped when I applied for the first job in 2017, when I was unemployed, bills were due. If I had stopped, it would have been over. Submitting all those resumes, studying all those companies, reviewing all those individuals. But the goal, the destination was their job. But their job was the key to unlock the door to money. And money was the key to make sure the bills were paid. And when bills are paid, that means I can have peace. When I have peace, I can breathe. And it may not be the success that I want. I may have other aspirations and goals, but in this moment, looking at my priorities, having clarity on what I want the most, what I need in this moment, just making sure all the bills are paid and the lights are on and there's food and we can turn on the TV and watch a little something and there's heat. That's a blessing. Millions and millions of people in the United States, let alone in the entire world, who have less and are still making it. Again, your mountain is someone else's valley, and your valley is someone else's mountain. The road to success is paved, is filled of potholes of failure. If you want it that badly, you keep trucking along anyway. You fall back down, you get back up. You fall back down, you get back up. You never stop trying. Even though you may be crying, you keep getting up because the destination matters more than the distance. The goal matters more than all the sacrifices because you know when you achieve it, it's a game changer. Keep your eyes on the forefront, not on the rear view. You can't grow a thriving business looking back at how many times you failed at trying to grow the business. No one is here to give you a handout. And quite frankly, I don't want one. I want what is due me. So the goal, the focus, the strategy, the plan is to never give up, is to adapt, which means always do all possible things. And remember, what is the driving factor? Envision how you will feel once you achieve what you want to achieve and create that vision. Follow that path, follow that inkling, follow that desire to get there. It may not be the way you want it to go, but as long as you keep it in the forefront, you'll achieve and obtain what you're meant to have. Let's focus less on failure and embrace and accept that failure is only part of the journey to the success that you're destined for. Say this line with me. I am destined for greatness. Failure is only part of the journey to greatness. I am destined for greatness. Failure is only part of the journey to greatness.
And that's a wrap. We hope you enjoyed this episode of I Digress. What was your takeaway? Care to share your thoughts and tag Troy on social media? You can find him on all platforms at Find Troy. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a review or comment for this episode from wherever you're listening. Looking for a marketing strategist to build the structure, strategies, and systems you need to get the success you want and the ROI you desire in your business? Book a discovery call to talk with Troy at findtroy.com. And as Troy's philosophy goes, imagination is the engine, content is the fuel, social media is the highway, marketing is the roadmap, sales is the destination, culture is the GPS. Thanks for listening.